Imagine this, December 16, 1773. A small group of rebels dressed as Native Americans sneak onto ships in the dead of night. They're about to do something that will shake an empire to its core. They toss 342 chests of tea into Boston Harbor. The British are furious. But this act of defiance sets the stage for something huge, the American Revolution. Let's dive into the Boston Tea Party and why it still matters today. It all started with tea. Sounds simple, right? But the British had a plan that made the colonists see red. They passed the Tea Act, which allowed the British East India Company to sell tea directly to the American colonies, without the usual middlemen. So far, so good, right? But here's the catch, the British also slapped a tax on that tea. The colonists weren't happy. They had no say in these taxes, and they were fed up. For them, this wasn't about tea, it was about freedom. How could they be taxed without representation? And that's when the Boston Tea Party happened. A group of brave men, known as the Sons of Liberty, had enough. They weren't going to let the British get away with this. So, on that cold December night, they boarded British ships in disguise and dumped the tea into the harbor. They weren't just tossing tea, they were tossing away their fear and fighting for their rights. The British were livid. They couldn't let this go. So, they passed the Intolerable Acts, a set of laws aimed to punish Massachusetts. These laws closed Boston's harbor, limited local self-government, and gave British soldiers the right to live in colonists' homes. But here's the twist. The British thought these harsh laws would break the colonies. Instead, they united them. Colonies from all over the place rallied behind Massachusetts. They realized that if they didn't stand together, they might all face the same fate. They formed the First Continental Congress to organize a response. The Boston Tea Party wasn't just a protest, it was the start of a full-blown revolution. It made the colonists realize they couldn't just complain. They had to act. And act they did. Tensions grew, battles were fought, and by 1775, war had officially broken out. The American Revolution was underway. Before the Boston Tea Party, many colonists still saw themselves as British subjects. But after that night, something changed. They began to see themselves as Americans, with their own rights and ideas. The fight wasn't just about taxes, it was about freedom and independence. The Boston Tea Party didn't just make waves in America. It became a symbol of resistance around the world. Countries across the globe looked at the courage of those colonists and thought, maybe we can stand up too. The Tea Party sparked a global conversation about freedom and independence. The Boston Tea Party was the spark, but the American Revolution was the fire. The events that followed, Lexington and Concord, the Declaration of Independence in 1776, showed the world that the colonists weren't just angry. They were ready for war. And they were determined to win their freedom. You might wonder, why is this old event still so important? Simple. The Boston Tea Party wasn't just about throwing tea in the harbor, it was about standing up for what you believe in. It was about taking action when you feel like something isn't right. The colonists didn't just talk, they did something about it. And in doing so, they set the stage for the United States to be born. In a way, the Boston Tea Party is a reminder for all of us, sometimes, standing up for what's right requires sacrifice. Sometimes, it takes defiance. The colonists could have stayed silent, but instead, they chose to speak up and take action. The Boston Tea Party was a turning point, a bold statement that changed history. It wasn't just about the tea. It was about freedom, unity, and the fight for independence. And even today, it stands as a symbol of resistance, reminding us all to never be afraid to fight for what's right. Want to dive deeper into this historic event and learn more about the American Revolution? Check out the description box below. There, you'll find links to more videos on history, and don't forget to subscribe to my other channel for even more awesome content. Don't miss out on the journey through history.